So, guys, I'm back with another episode of Talk To, and I'm here with Banks.
There he is.
How's it going?
It's going good. Life's crazy right now. I don't know. I say no to every single fucking podcast. Ongoing joke on Impulsive that I stood them up 4 or 5 times. This isn't necessarily my thing, but you're in an interesting position right now, and I feel like it's my duty to come on here and talk to you. You seem like a sweet enough girl, and I feel like I know more or less what happened with you. We're going to get into all that. I brought a couple crypto nerds with me. We're going to sit down and talk.
Teach me.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I feel good. How do you feel?
I don't know. I'm still a little shook up about it.
How was the nap?
It was a very long nap, I would say. That's what sucks about it, too. I had to read that off a phone and, put it in my words. And I was like, anywho, I'm going to bed.
This is mainly for me, and again, why I wanted to come here and talk about this is because millions of people are going to watch this. Everybody's kind of waiting to hear what you say. Everyone's kind of waiting to see how this plays out. And 99% of these people don't know shit about crypto.
I'm one of them.
Just like you. Exactly.
I'm one of them.
Exactly. And the ongoing joke on CT right now is if she just did this 2 days after Trump, she'd be okay. Exactly. Which isn't necessarily true because of the way it was done. And that's kind of the whole point, right? There's a right and a wrong way to do this. And if you have interest, it's mostly important that your network and the people that you trust to walk into this market are exactly that, people that you can trust.
I think that's where I messed up.
For sure. I can only imagine, fuck crypto. I can only imagine stepping into everything that your life's been the last year and the amount of time that you have been. I've been doing this whole social media content thing at a high level for 15 years. I'm officially fucking Unk. And I still don't, have it totally figured out. Someone like you, and my shit was gradual. I gradually got to where I am today, and you were fucking parabolic.
I want to start by saying thank you to all my true fans and all the people that actually watch my stuff and they keep up with me. We're trying to sort out all the pieces and stuff to get all this figured out and make everything right. Oh my God, I'm going to cry.
No, don't cry. Don't cry. Don't cry. Everything's going to be good. We're going to be good. And guys, listen, just as a temperature check, I just want to say, the first thing that she said to me off camera was, the minute you DM me, I really wish I just texted you and called you. And that speaks to me because of how I was introduced to crypto, and we'll get into that. But I'm also kind of on the back end of things too. Their team's been very forthcoming. My team is vetting them the fuck out right now and has been for the last week. Thread Guy and Frank, they're going to be on this episode. It's such a weird blend and mash of worlds. No,
it rolled out.
Don't cry, Haley. It's fine. It's all going to be okay. Life is going to be okay. Oh, Haley, no.
Oh, don't do that. Don't stare at me.
No.
You just
You're adorable.
Just give us a minute.
Okay. It's going to be okay.
Well, so basically how this idea got brought to me, it was supposed to be what they call it, a long-term coin. And the guy that ran the account, he was like, oh, we're going to change the way everybody thinks of crypto. Crypto is going to be a good place. And I feel really bad for all the people that got affected by it. And it just didn't go the way I planned. And all the money out of this episode is getting donated to all the animals that have been affected by the fires up here.
And I'll match it. Me, Ricky, I'll match it, whatever. It's really, really important for me to make sure that we address everything and get through all of exactly what happened. I think that it's really, really important at this point to be totally transparent about everything that happened with you and your partners and this launch and in crypto, and what makes this bad and what makes what Iggy Azalea is doing maybe even good, and what makes Trump's doing different, right? I want to get through all that. So I brought 2 guys that I live with and do this crypto shit at a very high level. I brought Thread Guy, he's the biggest streamer in crypto, and I brought Frank D-Gods, who launched a very successful project last cycle, and he trades at a very high level. He's one of the best trader guys. These guys are really, really sharp, and they know this market inside and out. And most importantly, they have front-facing brands, and their faces are everywhere, and we're all docs, and we all have to move militant, and we're all super, super passionate about conversations like this, because crypto done right is good for everybody. And everything that happened to you is really, really bad for the market. It's really, really bad for us. I hear everything that you're saying, and you're a human being first. And no matter which way this falls, I mean, it might not ever be in a spot where it's totally good. You might have to hear about this for the rest of your life. Probably. But let's just be transparent and make it right.
Okay.
Haley, pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you.
Cool. Let's bring in the nerds.
Can I have my tissue? Go. Yes. All right, you guys. I only got one sponsor left because there's some real ones, and they've stuck with me since every bit of this started. Game Time believes in me, y'all, and I believe in them.
Game Time's more loyal than most of y'all's mans out here.
Yeah, some of those guys just leave at the first opportunity they get. Not Game Time.
Hell yeah, this podcast ain't going nowhere, and neither are them Game Time deals.
Game Time gives you the best price guarantee, and Tuah gives you the best damn time. So if you can't decide what to do for shit like me, then you've got Game Time Pick. It filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets to find the best value. They got exclusive flash deals and sponsored deals on tickets for football, basketball, baseball, concerts, comedy, and a hell of a lot more. Pretty wild too. If you change your mind and want a bed rot last minute, they got 24-hour returns guarantee, which means you can return those tickets within 24 hours of purchase for a full credit to your Game Time account. No questions asked. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code TALKTUA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code TALKTUAH for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. What time is it?
Game Time.
All right, Mrs. Haley. This is Thread Guy, the guy I was telling you about, the streamer guy.
Thread.
Hi, Haley. Thanks for having us.
Well, of course.
And
Thank
then
you for
this
coming.
is Frank Degotts.
Hey, Haley.
Frank Degotts.
That's it. Yeah.
In
the
merch too.
Yeah, I got the merch on.
I love it.
Tuah, shout out.
These are 2 of 10 of my little crypto nerds, I call them. And these guys do this at the highest level, and they're gonna help us through this conversation. And you have with us, he's off camera, but do you want to introduce?
I have my lawyer here too.
What's your name? Christian Barker. Okay, cool. How did this all happen?
So
Explain.
This idea got brought to me like months ago, and I was kind of, I don't want to do that. I don't know anything about it, and I've never heard the space is a good place to be. So I was like, I don't know about it. Which we trusted the guy that come to us. He was a friend of, I don't know, a friend of a friend, I guess you can put him. That was my biggest mistake.
Yeah,
I probably should have looked into him.
We heard a little bit about him. Apparently, he had like a pretty strong network in LA, and kind of used that as leverage to, give himself a vouch. And I think the guy probably more or less overstated his qualifications in executing something like this. Fair to say?
Yes.
Which is usually the case.
Yeah, that's 99% of the time. What happened after that?
Well, really, everything went good, and then I noticed, like, the day of the launch, he was, like, a little weird about it. Like, he was pacing around on the porch, and I don't know, it just makes you suspicious. And then we finished a podcast that day, and then I ended up going in that room over there to get on that live, where I was, like, scripted to say this, that, and the other, but put it in my own words. So I done that, and then that's when you got on, and you were asking him questions, and he couldn't answer them. So I was like, okay, something's wrong. He can't answer a simple question. And then CoffeeZilla got on there. That scary guy. Let me tell you, don't ever want to have a conversation with him.
We're a little bit more charitable than Coffee. I think Coffee kind of has a little bit of disdain for crypto in general. Us, on the other hand, we live and breathe it every day. We want to see crypto succeed. We do it every single day. But Coffee definitely, like, you know what I mean? He's definitely asking the right questions. It's the way that he asks them, maybe, is why you guys can't really find a spot to like talk or have like any sort of conversation with each other. But we actually did talk to him. We had a conversation with him, and he gave us some broad questions to share and ask you. They're good questions.
Oh, that scares me if they come from him.
No, don't worry about it. Don't be scared.
He's such a scary guy.
Coffee is a little scary, but it's okay.
He means well, though.
This whole thing is a little scary. Yeah, at the end of the day, he wants to he just wants to see people move the right way. And again, that's the difference between you, Iggy, Trump, is they just simply did it the right way. There's a whole set of standards and rules that this market follows, and an etiquette that people, respect. And it's just, that's what it is, right?
Well, see, that's how it got brought to me. It was supposed to be done the right way. Like, it was going to be good. Like, half the money, it was supposed to go, like, into my charity. That's really why I agreed to do it. Just for the simple fact, putting money into that. It was a way to, like, get all my community gathered up together. It was just, I don't know. It was brought to me in, like, a positive way. Like, it was going to be something good and long-term, but it didn't go that route at all. So it was like 100%, a smack in the face.
100% of the time, the pitch is always going to be positive. It's we're the right guys, we're the ones, et cetera, et cetera. Again, I think that's why we're here. Thread, Frank, maybe introduce yourselves and give your.
Yeah. Hey, Frank. I've been in crypto for like 4 years. I guess, do we just go to the questions first, or?
Yeah, whatever you want. Yeah. Like natural conversation.
How much, did they offer you money up front? This is what I think the internet always wants to know is, like, do they offer you money up front, part of the tokens? Like, how did that work? Like,
So the deal, I can speak to that. So the deal that she did was like a brand image likeness deal where they paid her $125,000 up front. They were supposed to pay her $200,000 after the launch of the coin within 30 days. She was supposed to have full transparency to tokenomics and everything going on, which they did stay in communication about it, but it just was an ever-evolving game plan, essentially. So back-end participation was to always be mutually agreed, and what they had agreed on in the tokenomics was there was a 10% allocation of the token that would be on a 1-year lock and then a 3-year drip after that. Of that 10%, half of that was supposed to go to the company that created the project and half was to go to her. So out of 100% of the token, she would have had 5% at the end. Obviously she has lawyer, manager, business manager, so even that 5% would have been cut down by over a quarter due to people that she has to pay out on her non-crypto.
So all the structure you just described, what happened to all that?
It's not like it has dissolved. That on launch, 3% of the token was made available for public trading. A lot of this information we found out since the launch. We, as in Haley's internal non-crypto team, but 17% was given to pre-sale investors. 2/3 of which approximately sold the day of launch. Yep. So there is 20% in circulation.
And just to be clear about where you kind of jumped into this, you were telling us in the back room that this kind of all was happening even without you really knowing or having view on any of it until post. You know, you're handling the cleanup and trying to protect Haley and trying to do right by Haley now, but you didn't have the opportunity to like.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay.
I negotiated the contract with the company. We have like accounting transparency rules and requirements that I added to the contract. SEC compliance requirements I added into the contract that they would have to do as project manager. And so we continued to inquire all along the process about the tokenomics. It was kind of a shifting narrative and explanation of tokenomics. The most recent tokenomics that were given to us prior to the launch had the pre-sale investors being on a 1-month lock with a 1-year drip after that. That's pretty obvious on chain that didn't happen. But 80% of the supply is still in control. The dev still controls 80%.
And who are they?
I do not know who the dev is. That was never disclosed to us. All I know is it's a gentleman that's...
So see, the problem with the developing side of like projects like these and products like these is they can do whatever the fuck they want, right? Like they can change this structure that sounds really pretty and nice and fair and honest. They can change it at will, right?
Especially when they control the coins, they control the keys, yeah.
So 80% of the fucking supply, and then they control all the code and stuff, all these locks that sound great again and fair and like it's going to keep her safe. They can just be turned off right before the thing goes. And that's sounds like more or less is what happened. What would you say?
I think with memes, people in the internet like to feel like a ownership of it, and like the community wants to feel like it's organic. And so by having like a pre-sale, it makes it posting the wallet address beforehand, then you just know snipers are gonna like basically get, which I think a sniper made $1 million right when it went live. These were kind of just like really bad practices for like an organic meme coin. And so yeah, I mean that's honestly like it's
those two things specifically. What was the pre-sale structure exactly?
I'm not certain to the structure of the pre-sale. There was a 17% allocation. Most of the pre-sale investors, my understanding were based in Asia.
Okay.
And there was again supposed to be a 1-month lock with a 1-year drip after that.
And how much was raised for that 17%?
2.8 million.
I think that's why people were really upset for the most part, Ali, is that
puts it at like 14, 15.
Yeah, it's like basically when you have a coin where people have a bunch of pre-sale, it means like a bunch of people got this early access to it.
That
so
normal people don't have access to.
That normal people don't have access to. And so I think it's less the problem that there's a coin and more just the way that it was done was really...
And just to articulate to you too, that is probably never the way to go. It's just not good for the health of the token. But if ever you should know exactly who holds this token.
Correct.
Like always, like to have that be like a question mark, and like guys in Asia, it's like they're the ones who control now the destiny of this token.
It's like, who are these guys?
They at any moment upon launch, you know, this thing could rip to fucking $100 million, and then they could all just fucking suck all the liquidity out and send it to zero, and then you're again the face of it, you're the name of it, and then you're left in this situation that you've been in.
So when there's a pre-sale, nobody in the United States can buy that, right? Is that how that works?
I'm not necessarily sure.
How does that work?
Honestly, don't know.
I look at it.
It's all kind of great.
Sounds about
Donald
right,
Trump just
yeah.
dropped a fucking meme coin, so
Yeah.
I don't really. I think we're kind of all in a situation where we're figuring that stuff out. I think as a society in real time. It's all. It's
But
all
the
really
pre-sale
gray area.
wasn't made public, right? Like, and so
Yeah,
that is
that's
less
also a
about the
huge
fact
problem.
that there was a pre-sale and more the fact that it was hidden. And I think the biggest thing with like why people were so frustrated is less due to how the price turned out and more because it was very publicly set up like wrong to the people that are really in crypto that do it every day. You could see on like A, B, and C, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong.
And that's why, Haley, the most important thing far and away for people like you and I in a market like crypto is transparency. It means everything. It's like it has to start and stop there, because then at that point, at least something goes wrong. You know what I mean? This is what I knew. This is what happened. And that's why conversations like these are really, really important. I think, again, I said this before, and I'd love to hear your guys' opinion on this. I think generally like crypto Twitter, people who do this at a high level, who do this every day, more or less know what happened, because they can go like Frank, again, we're in that back room. He's looking on chain. He sees it. It tells the whole story. That's the beautiful thing about crypto.
Yeah, I found that out later too.
Yeah. So they more or less can see what happened. And then obviously we've seen this story a million fucking times, right? So we more or less know what happens. The issue for you is the millions and millions of people who farmed views off this and made stories about this and covered it. Your average fan, the average fucking middle America 16-year-old kid who's a fan of you, just sees crypto scam, which is, again, another huge part of the conversation that I'm passionate about, where it's just like crypto already has this bad rap, and it's because of things like this, and it's because the onboarding process is flawed, the barrier to entry is flawed. You probably don't even understand half of what's being talked about right now. That's what I'm saying. It's like there's a real language barrier. And the point is, like, if you have no business in crypto, you probably shouldn't be in crypto. The only thing,
agree.
Your introduction to crypto should have been somebody, a finance guy telling you it's probably a good idea for you to DCA 20% of your money indefinitely into Bitcoin because it's just a good investment. And then maybe you know what I mean?
What does DCA mean?
It means
dollar cost average. Yeah.
Yeah, it means just like slowly buying or slowly selling. So it's actually
buy like $10 a Bitcoin a day type thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the best way that I think that you can acquire an asset like Bitcoin, because it's so volatile. It's 100,000 one day, and then it's 70,000, then it's 120. Right? It's never hit 120, but if you buy it at a consistent basis, you get the average cost of Bitcoin over the span of whatever. But it's like it's things like that. Obviously, if you're that passionate about your team sees an opportunity, that's okay. I mean, we see opportunities every day in crypto, and that's what anybody that's telling you they're not in crypto to make money is fucking lying to you, right? To a degree, some more than others, and some are more likely to fucking not stand on business and fucking do sketchy weird shit, and some are more passionate about the future of the space like us. But if you're gonna do that, if you're someone like Haley Welch and you're gonna do that, you need to like be as careful as you can be, and you need to make sure that the people that you're doing this with are like people you can really, really trust and qualified to do it.
Wiz Khalifa told me not to ever put your name on something you don't fully understand.
It's a really, really awesome piece of advice.
It's great advice.
I agree with
That
him.
was on this show. There's like a clip of that.
Yep.
That's good. Yeah, I mean that's a
real clip.
That's a great piece of advice.
What's the best piece of advice you'd give to Haley?
Just like make sure that you like clear everything that's like being done in your name. Like make sure you like it. Like don't let it get crazy. Don't let it get out of fucking whack to the point where it's like, yo, I wouldn't even fucking done that shit.
Yeah.
And it sucks. It sucks that you're having to learn this the hard way, right? But
I feel like I needed to though.
That's
kind of
great.
opened my eyes a lot.
That's great. Yeah, I mean that's honestly how I was introduced to crypto to begin. I can't talk too much about it or names, whatever. But I was introduced to crypto through something very, very similar. A deal came through the Phase pipeline, my company that's existed for over a decade. We were public at one point, came through the sales team, and a talent manager brought me this deal that for me by every, measure of my expertise and my perspective on my whole career and how it came up, this was a fucking great deal. This product came to me and said, we want you to be a spokesperson for our product. It's X, Y, and Z. It's in crypto, this cool new technology. And they like you. They like your name. They want you to do basically more or less an ad read every 2 weeks, and they'll pay you $100,000 a year salary.
Simple. I'm
like, what? Bet. That's a great deal. And also they'll give you whatever it was. I'm making this figure up, but $50,000 in tokens, whatever. I didn't know what that meant. In one ear, out the other. Could give a fuck less about that. $100K a year? Bet. That's awesome. And then upon announcing this and upon me talking about it, they used that moment as exit liquidity. They used my face as exit liquidity. At that point, I got flooded with comments. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? What the fuck is happening? Probably similar, definitely not as severe as your experience and whatever happened. And this was during a different time. This is 2020. I mean, your whole fucking timeline in 2020 was Kim Kardashian and Jake Paul and Mayweather and everybody, because this market took advantage of the fact that our market had so much influence and we had so many eyeballs and such a big audience, but we knew nothing about it, right? So very easy to manipulate us, take advantage of us, use us as exit liquidity, et cetera, et cetera. I used that opportunity. I got investigated by the SEC for fucking like 2 years over this. It cost me way more money than I made. It was one of the most miserable experiences of my life because that moment got me into crypto. So then I started doing things like buying CryptoPunks and buying more Ethereum and Bitcoin, et cetera, and meeting people like this. And I made the conscious decision that I'm never going to allow something like this to happen to me ever again. I'm going to know as much as I need to know about this space to keep myself safe. I'm happy that I did in a weird roundabout way. It was one of the greatest things that ever happened to me. Luckily for me, I did meet people who did it the right way, who pushed me in that direction. And I did put, I stood on business and put morals first and did it in an ethical way. And when the SEC did comb through all my shit, I had receipts on it. I had receipts on receipts of me declining deals. Like I was getting offered $500,000 to post an Instagram story to promote an NFT. You know what I mean? And saying no to things like that. So I think probably, they didn't say this explicitly, but I would imagine they see things like that and they're like, okay, this is like an honest act. They dropped everything. I probably could have gotten fined and stuff because of just the nature of that deal. But yeah, it cost me a fuck ton of money legally, and fuck all the money, like mentally. I can only imagine like how you feel. And just know though, I can truly relate to all that. And that's why I agreed to come on the show. That's why I'm personally here.
I saw where you DM me, and it was like in my requests, and you asked if I ran my account.
Yeah.
And what I done, I still confided in the guy that ran my account, and I screenshot it. I was like, can I respond to him? Like, he was in the live.
No, don't.
Yeah. He was like, no, do not text him
it's
back.
The biggest red flag of everything you've said.
Not being allowed to respond to someone is crazy.
Wild. Especially someone like me, somebody who know.
Well, you were nice when you were on the live, so I was like, well, there's nothing wrong with him. I was like, he's a nice guy, and he's just asking if I actually run my account, which the answer is no.
I wish you picked up the phone and called me immediately. That's fine.
But I've never had Twitter.
You guys know too, I'm sending her fucking paragraphs, bank shit. I'm like, yo, I'm trying to articulate my little bullet points. I'm sending her pages.
It's like a manic essay. Yeah. What the fuck is this?
I think that's all the messages I've had. It's like people from crypto.
Yeah.
I think the worst part about it is I hate that it was just such a negative entrance for you.
It was.
Because crypto is like a really cool place. And it's probably really confusing. A lot of it doesn't make sense, but we like to think of crypto as the money of the internet. And it basically allows you to attach a value to attention, like memes, like Tuah, right?
Yeah.
And trade and speculate on attention. Is the thing going to get bigger? Is it going to get smaller? The thing about it is, like, crypto isn't going to go away. It's only going to get bigger.
Yeah.
And it might feel like intimidating to you because of how you were sort of brought onto it. But I think that there is an outcome sort of similar to the bank story, where it's like you have this really negative entrance to the thing, and then little by little you spend time, focus on trying to just piece together as much knowledge as I can around this space. And I think I still think there's some level of vindication to this. Like, I don't know, do you want to talk about what? I don't want to put you on the spot to it, but like, do you want to talk about the idea just to throw it out there on the pod?
We were talking about, I think if you took all of the money that you made from the deal, whatever, and just like bought back the coin and then locked it up, I feel like that's a very like clear action that you can make, back to the community. And I think that would just like stamp it, and the community can run with it. So that's like the idea that we were talking about.
As far as narrative goes and a gesture, you just fucking nailed that, by the way. And that would be, you mentioned it earlier, 125,000 plus 100,000, or what did I hear?
Yeah. So
how much total money has been received due to this.
125,000 has
Been received.
been received.
Yeah. Basically what Frank just said in normal people terms is you take every dollar that you made on this and you mark it by this token and you lock it up. You walk away from it. You don't ever see that money. You can never touch it again. And you say, I'm not going to talk about this every day, whatever, but I'm going to stand on business. I put my face on this. I'm accepting the responsibility that this happened. And hopefully, you know, everybody is made whole at some point where you guys do what you want with this at this point. This is me kind of like, you know what I mean? And what that does is it kind of shows your intentions, right? Like I just want to do right by this and everybody who participated in this, etc.
I know you probably feel weird because like I'm sure people said some nasty things to you and you're like, what is this? Who are these people? What is this space? Like,
well, Haley, I'm not going to sugarcoat it too. Listen, I think I know I'm sucking my own dick right now, but I think as far as like people who come from our industry, I think I move close to the best. I get comments pretty much on a daily basis calling me a fucking scammer, etc., etc. There was another situation that happened inside FaZe. It's fucking so annoying, but a group of members launched a token that was like a charity, like had this like charity spin and narrative. It's like one of the most crazy things that ever happened in crypto. They all had to get kicked. I had to fucking talk to, you think Coffee's a little scary? I had to talk to this man every fucking day for like 2 weeks and basically vindicate myself because there's all this speculation. Banks is a crypto guy. He obviously had to have something to do with it. I had to fucking basically open my books up to Coffee, and for the Banks had nothing to do with this, FaZe had nothing to do with this, but 5 members of FaZe did. So it'll always be tied back to me. I'll always forever, and you'll probably always forever get comments. You're fucking scammer, this and that. This is going to make it infinitely more hard for you to work in crypto. But what the suggestion that he just made is far and away the best solve for this in the immediate and in the long term. It's kind of the one, you know, I don't know. It's that was really good.
Yeah, because it happened.
Her buying in right now with what's on the market is there's 80%.
Yes.
That's not available.
What does that mean?
So obviously we don't want to run into a situation where you do that. You put $250,000 in, because I'll be honest, if you did that, the market's probably going to react in a positive way because it is a great narrative and it is a really genuine gesture. I don't want to fucking guarantee anything, but the token probably fucking rips to that point. It could even get to a point where it rips past all-time high, which for you, I think if the token ever exceeds the highest point it was ever at, I think that's a really comfy spot for you to finally be like, I did what I needed to do and I did right by this product launch in crypto. That's personally me. That's how I would receive it. But that being said, we don't want to be in a position where this fucking token is ripping and these same people who fucked you over that own 80% of it are getting rich in the process, right? Like that cannot happen. So that's the biggest, how do we solve that?
I don't know. I'm scared to touch that coin.
Yeah, the devs that have the 80%.
You should be.
I'm horrified of it.
You should be.
If that's the case, then the devs that have the 80% need to agree to lock it too. And if I don't know if there's interest, I don't know, but
I think probably you guys who we do still have open lines of communication with, who fucking built this thing, I think you aggressively go in contact and communicate the fact that, listen, we as a team have decided that this is probably the best route to go for Haley, because at the end of the day, your name, your likeness, your brand, your 50s,
it's all over it.
You're so sweet. Let's fix it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And fucking that. We need to figure out that. Maybe, I mean, you guys are probably like the communication between team and you guys right now probably looks pretty aggressive as it is, right? Like lawsuits, I know how it goes, as it should. They fucked you over big time. So maybe even using that as leverage of like, help us make right by this. You need to listen to everything we're about to tell you to do. And you know what I mean? Maybe we don't go fucking as hard legally on it. That 80%, that's obviously the biggest hurdle.
So who has that? The 80%?
The dev.
What is dev?
The 80%, the developer.
Based out of where?
Based out of San Francisco. It's one guy based in San Francisco is my knowledge.
Well, that's better than China.
I don't know who we don't know the name as to who that is, but the dev is hired by the company that she did the deal with.
Just as far as, by the way, just as far as access goes, San Francisco's up the street.
Okay.
The language barrier, China. Okay. Yeah, it's okay.
Understood. Yeah, I think that's the next steps, honestly. Yeah. Because the thing is, like, it happened, and it's like on chain, like things always gonna exist. Trump launched a coin. Like, again, I come back to, I just don't think that there's an issue with a meme coin in the world. Like, that's not the problem. It's the pre-sale. It's the fact that the pre-sales got unlocked on day one. It's the fact that he put the wallet address out, so it got sniped. It was just like a pretty poorly executed
What would have been
launch.
the best way she could have executed? Just for everybody watching this in any future, like, because I feel like this will be cited.
The best way to do it would have been not to do it.
I agree. I was just about to say that.
That would be like the
I'm gonna say,
number
don't
one
touch
best
it.
way to do it. And the second best way would be if someone else made it and they sent you, you know, some percent of supply, and then like you're like, all right, you guys can do it and whatever.
like the founder of Pump Fund recently. His name's Alon, and their product. You want to talk about what their product does? Just
Well,
real quick.
yeah, there's this thing called Pump Fund where it makes it really easy for anybody to launch a coin. And so people anonymously all over the internet are just like launching coins.
Some people think it's the worst thing ever for crypto. Some people love it. Whatever.
Yeah.
It is what it is. It exists. But my point in bringing that up was the founder of it didn't drop a coin, but somebody else dropped a coin of his name, and he kind of endorsed it.
Yeah.
Like he soft endorsed it. The moment he did that, that became his token.
coin.
No, he didn't know the team. He didn't know anything. It was just like, okay, this is the one, and then the market decides what to do from there, right? That probably would have
best way to put it is the way that this was structured from everything I've heard so far is like you're trying to make a business almost out of a fucking meme coin. And this is where I think the internet just like hates, right?
Yeah.
In reality, it's like a meme coin that should honestly belong to the internet and the community and whoever's like speculating and trading on it. But it was made into this like venture. And with that venture, now there's all these mouths to feed, all these guys with pre-sale.
Everyone has a hand in it.
so
Everyone got a hand in
complicated.
it, you know, so
complicated. People are expecting things from you, expecting you to execute on things, like expecting a product.
You have deliverables,
Yeah.
all these people to feed.
That's why Trump's engaged the way that he has in his token. He hasn't really talked much about it. He's probably not going to talk a ton about it. It's out there. It's for the market.
please.
It's for the,
One tweet.
it's for the market. It's for the market to decide. And yeah, the more he talks about it, the more complicated it's going to be, and the more he engages with it and participates in it, the more complicated it's going to be.
Hindsight's obviously 2020, but for future use, the best way to come into a new space, and specifically crypto, is to to make money from it and launch a coin.
For sure. To invest money into it. That's
The best way would have been like, all right, this crypto thing seems cool. I'm gonna fuck around and throw a little bit of money at Bitcoin and just like maybe go to the conference. Bitcoin.
You're familiar with
Nashville.
Aiden Ross, yeah? You're familiar with Aiden Ross, the streamer?
Sure.
That's so fun.
That's pretty
That's
wild.
awesome. That's awesome.
Sure.
That's awesome. So he's one of the biggest he's one of the biggest streamers on earth, and he's a dear friend of mine. I would even maybe go as far as consider him a brother to me. We've lived together for 2 years, and I saw his come up and I saw him explode on the scene, and we have very intimate, like, personal conversations. Obviously, he knows that I do crypto on this level, and he's had all these questions for me over the last couple weeks post Trump launch, right? About, can I do this? Should I do that? Luckily for him, you know, he has somebody who he can trust, and you know, we've told him all the same stuff. We're actually gonna go visit him this weekend. This probably even comes out after we go visit him, but that's our whole onboarding process with Aiden. It's make a crypto Twitter, follow these accounts, join these communities, learn about it, invest money into Bitcoin, and then maybe pick a couple spots that like speak to you in terms of just who you are and what you're interested in. Because then what that does is you start to extend your network, you start to build a network of people who you can learn from, and that's the biggest thing is entering a space
pick
like
up
this.
pieces along the way.
Yeah, entering a space like this, I'm still fucking retardio when it comes to like this whole crypto thing, but
Me too.
but and I've been doing this for 5 years, you know what I mean? I have these guys, I live with these guys. I'm fortunate enough for that. But that being said, I've been in here for 5 years. I could have launched an NFT project last cycle and probably printed 8 figures on it. Safe to say, yeah. And I didn't, right? Because I just knew, you know, the longer term play is to just participate. There's going to be opportunities for all of us because this is where the future is being built, is crypto.
Yeah.
If you're not learning about crypto or AI, I really hope whatever you're doing, you're totally fucking in love with, because everybody else is fucked.
Yeah.
This is where it's at. This is where the future is.
It does make me feel better, like hearing y'all talk, but like y'all know everything. Like I feel like y'all do everything the right way.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to
Not
confide
everything.
too much in that because I thought my guy was doing everything the right way.
Again, not everything. Again,
Valid.
like I said, my entry to crypto was similar. You know what I mean? It was
You had to learn from it, though.
for sure, and those are the
And you got a good team with you, too. I had a dumbass working for me.
for sure.
What do
Oh,
you guys
bless
think
him.
she should do next?
Again, that best case scenario, dream scenario, Frank's suggestion unironically is fucking 10 out of 10 perfect, I think, in my opinion.
I think the reason he suggested to take the money that you earned and to put it back in the token, one, it probably feels like blood money. I'm not even sure you want the money.
Dirty.
You don't want that money.
That money is
dirty.
gross. Two, it's sort of like you could kind of say anything. Like we could say whatever on this podcast, and apologies are helpful, and it goes some distance. But to actually put the money back in and be like, I didn't make any money from this, and for the people that are down, like this is the best thing I could do to help you, and sort of wipe my hands clean and say that you tried is definitely number two, the best thing you could do. And I think the third is like, it probably feels really weird and uncomfortable right now, even to be talking, we're these weird guys, we just walked in, we're talking about crypto, we're saying big words, but like your life, especially being this famous person on the internet, will intersect with like the money of the internet, crypto, again at a later point, and you don't want to have this like looming
Dirty
elephant in the room, like uncomfortable situation, or maybe you do have a clean, awesome opportunity to like help crypto and do a positive thing, but you're uncomfortable and afraid of it because of like what happened.
Again, what I said as far as how the response from the general community, and just there are going to be people who only saw the bad part of it and never gave a fuck enough to like explore what actually happened, right? So you're gonna see comments for the rest of time about this.
I still see Logan Paul getting comments all the time.
100%. I mean, again, like I said,
but what did Logan Paul do? He paid him back.
Yeah, I mean, he had to make it right? And yeah, I don't know. It's at least when you see these comments in your own mind, you'll know that you made your best effort, and you'll know that your conscience is clear on it. And I can't explain to you like how important I feel like that. If you have a soul, which you feel like you have a lot of soul.
I got a soul, I reckon.
It feels like you do, I reckon. I
reckon. And I know there's a lot of legal stuff. I don't even know what has to get figured out in the background, but let it be known it was Frank Degott's suggestion. I think it's the best one.
No, I think so too. And I don't want anybody to misconstrue any of this as like us fucking like letting you off the hook or like pretending like nothing was done wrong. You definitely did a lot of things wrong here. Most things wrong here. But in our opinion, there is a way to fix it. I think that's the next steps. I think focusing hard on fixing it above all else. Fuck all the legal shit. Fuck any partners that led her to slaughter on this. Like, with all due respect, fuck all those people. And get to a place where you can, feel good about where things are at, and maybe even get to a place where the market feels good about where things are at. That would be obviously ideal. So hard focusing on that. The whole conversation we've had with you guys have been very forthcoming. Even you coming on the show, numbers, being transparent, off camera.
Well, we don't have nothing to hide
no,
either.
That's how it needs to be, right? Like that's the whole point.
Do you have any other questions?
How's Pookie doing?
Pookie lost money in it too.
Oh,
no.
Pookie, poor Pookie.
He said, "How are you gonna take my money?" I said, "I didn't do it."
Oh, that's so sad. That's so sad.
He still gives me shit about it all the time. He's like, "Yeah, I wish I had my." Can I say how much?
Yeah.
I wish I had my $300 back. I was like, "Well."
That's funny.
Yeah, me too.
Did you put money in it too?
I'm joking.
I think we all figured.
We definitely did.
I got one more question. Are those real screws in your ears?
No, they're not. There's a little bar between.
I thought those were so fucking cool.
You like them?
I looked over, I was like, those gotta be real screws.
Yeah. Shout out Christian Stark. He made these for me.
I feel like it wouldn't be an episode to talk to if I didn't ask my last question. Do I ask it 3 times?
Just ask it.
I'll go around the room. What's one move in bed that makes a woman go crazy?
Oh my god.
I'm sorry, I had to hit you with the final question.
Frank, what's your answer?
No, you gotta go first.
The Hawk Tuah.
I'll go last. It's the forehead kiss, nose kiss. Kiss
There you
each one of
go.
their eyeballs. Tell them they're sweet. Turn their head. You have amazing bone structure. You have a beautiful side profile. Squeeze them. Tell them you love them. And then, then you can have.
There you go. He said,
I just watch Ricky and do whatever he does.
I'm the Osama bin Laden of love bombing.
Okay.
We can cut that. It's been a pleasure to meet you. You really are a sweetheart. And we're here now. So you have my number.
thank
Hit
you.
me up for anything. This is a wacky world you found yourself in.
you're not
A
kidding.
fun one though.
And it's only going to get crazier. And it's very, very important, not even just in crypto, that you have people in your life that you can lean on and ask for advice to. And I play that role for a lot of people in this industry. And it's what I'm most passionate about. Peace, love, and Haley Welch. Hawk Tuah. I love you.
I love you.
Cool.